Beat by Trill, straight Killerville, dog.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, we are back. One and only Paul Pickett, host of the Paul Pickett Podcast, aka Triple P, aka the Common Sense Podcast, your source for music, sports, politics, world events, and much, much more. We're gonna go back into the world of bare knuckle fighting. Our guest right now is undefeated. He's the one-time, current, and inaugural featherweight world champion. He has one successful title defense, 2 fights of the night. The youngest BKFC champion at 22 years and 11 months, the one and only Kai Stewart. Let's bring him in. Kai, what's
up,
good, man?
Dude, I'm having a good time. And fun fact, I actually have a podcast called The Poor Puff Predict, the Triple P podcast.
Are you serious?
I did not know that you were the Triple P podcast. I love it.
Oh man, that's crazy. I want to start with the wrestling background. So you were a high school champ, you go into college and wrestle. How did you transition into bare knuckle, and were you able to take any of what you learned in the wrestling and apply it to bare knuckle?
Yeah, wrestling is like the biggest single influencer of my life. Like, I graduated high school because of it. I kept a level head. I wasn't getting in fights. I wasn't on drugs. I wasn't out partying. So hats off to wrestling. And yeah, my college stunt wasn't very big due to COVID. And then I had an injury that put me out, and then I found fight, and then I just indulged in fighting, fell in love with fighting, and ended up in bare knuckle because I wanted to buy a boxer puppy, and they were coming to town, and the amount that they were going to pay me was how much there's a really nice breeder I want a boxer from, and they were expensive, and the paycheck that they were going to give me was going to go straight to that puppy. I ended up not getting the puppy, but I won 2 world titles. So definitely a crazy rise, because bare knuckle was never on my bingo card for what I wanted to do in my life. Fighting really wasn't, to be honest. I wanted to go to school to be a doctor.
Okay.
So then we fast forward to bare knuckle. Like, to me, that's crazy. But in the end, I'm mentally built for it, and it's been the best decision of my life.
Okay, so you become the youngest champ. I mean, how did that feel? What was that moment like?
Well, I don't want to disrespect the GOAT by saying this, but John Jones won his first UFC title at 23. I won mine at 22. So I'm in good company, this, at least thus far in my career, and I'm just gonna keep climbing, because the BKFC is gonna keep growing, and I'm gonna keep growing, and one day I'm hopefully can get super fights, maybe pull Sean O'Malley over, maybe pull those big names over. But in the back pocket, I know that I can go to those super fights on their terms too, because I love wrestling. I love MMA, but I'm bleeding black and yellow right now, and we're going to the moon with BKFC.
All right, so you fought Howard, HD Davis. A lot of people seem to be doubting you before that match. And you proved him wrong. I mean, why do you think people are doubting you?
Well, I mean, just look at Howard Davis. He's a scary looking individual. He has those face tats. He's 6'4" at 145 pounds. Like, how do you why wouldn't you go against him for especially bare knuckle? Glove boxing, but bare knuckle, if he used his range properly, or because I think he was trying to use his range properly, but I was just too good. But it put a chip on my shoulder, and it made me want to just become the absolute best I could possibly be. I didn't care about the wins and losses, and I still don't. I'm worried about getting better, because I just started boxing June 2 weeks prior to my BKFC debut, October 2021.
Wow.
So I'm not a boxer. So it's I love it whenever people doubt me, because it just gives me the opportunity to prove you wrong. it gives me that opportunity to work hard and express and display myself.
Now, would you say that there's still some doubters right now going into the El Gallo fight?
I think that there's a lot of doubters that are close to Duran, maybe even paid off by Duran. I would be very, very, very surprised to see these odds less than -250, -200. I'll be happy with. I hope at the Hollywood Hard Rock I'm an underdog because I have a lot of very well-off people that want to put big bags on me, and I would love to be I would love and prefer to be the underdog for that reason. But I do think that Bryan brings a level of dangerous to the fight because he comes in, he barrels in, he's nothing. He doesn't have boxing rhythm, no footwork. He literally rushes you with his chin in the air. He's dangerous that way because it's bare knuckle. Any other style of sport, this is a boring fight. I tear him apart. But bare knuckle, it makes it interesting because all it takes is one punch. So I give him respect where respect's due. Other than that, anybody that's doubting me at this point is just a hater or paid off.
Do you think this would be your toughest match so far?
I think that there is a level of the toughest, but honestly, I think that my toughest opponent to date, physically, I think would be Rusty Crowder, and then like as just a well-rounded fighter, I think HD was on paper the absolute best fighter I fought. So I don't think that I think Bryan Duran, he has a padded record with finishes, and that's how he earned his title shot, and I'm gonna prove my point June 21st. I think talk is cheap, and it is a fight. Anything could happen, but I'm very confident in saying that I'm all around the better fighter. I just have to, I have to be aware of what he's doing.
Yeah, I saw y'all's video. I guess y'all had a Zoom when y'all was going at each other. I think you called him the Miami Muppet.
Oh yeah.
And you said he was a one-trick pony. I guess that's why you were saying he just rushes in. That's why he's a one-trick pony.
Yeah, and there's no angles. We saw an off the couch Louis Lopez take Bryan Duran into deep water. So but like I said, Bryan Duran is dangerous in that first round, and he's gonna rush me. He's gonna come at me. If he doesn't rush me and come at me, it's gonna be a very, very long day for him. But we've seen he's not going to gain crazy cardio between February and June, and we saw him gas in the second round against Louis. So it's like you just can't make this stuff up. So I'm definitely I'm invested in this fight just because it's an opportunity to prove to myself that I deserve to be here. And it's an opportunity to impress the new boss, Conor McGregor. So Conor McGregor, since I was 16 years old, Conor McGregor is the only athlete that I've ever really looked up to in a big sense. And so this is full circle for me. This is crazy. This was back in I became a Conor fan with the Mendez fight, exploded as a Conor fan with the Aldo fight. And that was before I even even remotely wanted to fight. I just wanted to do what Conor did, but with freestyle Greco wrestling at the Olympic world level, but life happens for a reason, and now Conor McGregor is my boss, so I can't.
Yeah, that's crazy. Now you go in, and if you win this fight, I'm guessing like the doubters will have to stop doubting, right? They should pretty much evaporate after that point. You think? Or you think they're always gonna doubt? I mean, because you are a young guy, man.
Mm-hmm. I truly believe that because and I respect these two individuals I'm about to name. They've done very well with the sport. They've taken the sport. They're getting older. It's their time to go. Lorenzo Hunt, Palomino, they both lost. I am next in line to be the face of the homegrown fighters of BKFC. Obviously, there's Mike Perry, but he's even taken fights outside the organization. I will be that guy in BKFC after June 21st. And I truly believe it. I dream it. I tell myself every day. The people around me are like, we're gonna do this. There's strangers in my DM saying, well, I don't know what it is about you, but whenever I saw your videos, there's just something about you. I know that you're the next best. And I'm manifesting this thing, man. And I think God's on my side. I think I'm grateful for the opportunity, man. Like I can't even put into words how big this opportunity June 21st is, and I'm gonna seize the moment.
Now, I saw on the Bare Knuckle show, David Feldman was saying that y'all had a conversation that you were basically trying to go to the other fighters' hometowns and beat them, and that was really a thing for you, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Feldman, I was supposed to like the name that was pitched around. I didn't. There was no contracts, no nothing, but it was Jimmy Rivera originally, and then all of a
Okay.
sudden, in Albuquerque, Feldman came up to me. We had a great conversation, and then at the end of the conversation, he says, "Unfortunately, man, the fight doesn't make sense for Jimmy. Um, what do you want?" And I didn't even give a name. I just said I want to go to somebody's hometown and I want to beat them wherever I'm going to make the most money and the most fans. And a week later, I had Bryan Duran in Hollywood, Florida. So I definitely called for it. I wanted this. So anybody making Lion Den, you're coming into the Lions Den comments is crazy because it's just another stage. It's business as usual. Act like you've been there. And, I've been here twice now. I've won two of these nice shiny belts, and I'm going to stack a third one. And then the next day I'm going to go out on a yacht and catch some fish. So can't fucking wait.
So yeah, I see. So you're from Montana, so you do a lot of fishing and stuff.
Yeah, a lot of fishing. I would do more hunting, but I didn't grow up with with like a father figure to be able to take me out, or I don't even remotely know really where to start. Like for new places, I have a place I go. I get my deer. I'm actually we're gonna get an elk next year. They committed to taking me out on an elk hunt, so that's cool. I would hunt more, but wrestling season always interfered with hunting as well. So but fishing, avid fisherman. My coach has a brand spanking new 2024 Hughes Craft River Runner, and we're just crushing the Mighty Mo this year. And I haven't been able to do too much because I went to Spokane to train. We did get out yesterday, and we set a goal to catch our bait, catch a catfish, and have fun. And I went out and did just that. So it was fun. It was I love Montana just for that.
How much do you care about rankings?
Not at all.
But now, if you win this, they do need to reconsider the pound for pound rankings, right?
See, that's so the pound for pound rankings to me is it's somewhere I want to be, and I get that I'm not on there because I'm so young, but this like I believe after this fight I will be on the pound for pound list, and once again I'm a broken record, but it'll be business as usual, and you act like you've been there. And I think like in terms of my public the way that I carry myself, my championship mentality, how I destroyed Howard Davis. I do believe that I'm already a pound for pound fighter. So June 21st, right after that fight, I expect that Monday to be in that pound for pound list.
Yeah, and it felt like I don't know. It felt like some people wanted Howard Davis to win, probably because like I know Shaq, I think is like behind them, and
Mhm.
and I think it seems like they want the guys that are more flashy, or it don't seem like you talk a lot. That's why I saw the video you and El Gallo going back and forth. I was like, wow, I've never really seen Kai Stewart like going back and forth for nobody like that.
Well, I'm so what I like to do. I'm never gonna attack somebody like hard. I'm never gonna go out of my way to attack somebody. I love stirring the pot and poking the bear. Yesterday, I was still I watched it back because there for a little bit I felt like I wasn't cool, calm, and collected, and I kept it about a 95% cool, calm, and collected. I felt really good about that, and I was able to get what I needed to say off because I do mean what I said. Like I do think that I am the best version of a BKFC world champion, and Bare Knuckles should be ashamed that he's even getting the opportunity. And I like I say what I believe, and I don't like, and like I have youth wrestlers that are watching. I try to keep it as kosher as possible because I know they're watching my interviews. They go to school and show people my interviews. Like I'm definitely being a youth coach. I have to put myself on just an even higher standard because like teaching the youth is important, man. Like giving back to the youth is the most important thing that we can do for our country, for our world, and for the future of humanity. And I think that I'm doing a really, really good job to represent what it means to be a positive human being.
That's what's up. What do you think your number one advantage is going into this fight?
My mindset, wrestler mindset. I have no pressure going into this fight. He's sold all these tickets, and I've been the hometown guy selling tickets. It's hard. Like that's a
Yeah.
hard. You know, he has a lot of hate in Miami. He acts like the king of Miami, but I've gotten 150 to 200 messages from people saying that he's just not a good dude. He doesn't represent Miami. He's a fraud. He's a fake. And I love that. And I don't really take it. I take it all with a grain of salt because, like I said, I do think Bryan Duran is 6-0 with 6 finishes, and he finished Louis. Even though Louis was off the couch, he finished Louis. So that's just in its own right. I can't disrespect the guy for that. I can't. And but what I can do is notice from the videos that I've seen, he's a one-trick pony, and I'm just levels above him in athletics.
Yeah, I noticed he sold a lot of tickets the last fight, but with BKFC, it doesn't seem like ticket sales is really gonna help you at all in that ring.
I do think that I've gotten where I've gotten because of my Montana ticket sales. I mean, my first event on 2-week notice, I sold 25K.
Okay.
That was 4 hours from my hometown. And you have to remember that tickets are half the price in Montana. Oh, there might even be they're exact for this event compared to my title fight last year. The tickets are half priced. So Bryan Duran selling $100,000 in tickets is like me selling $50,000 in tickets, and I blew him out of the water. So in terms of butts and seats, I do a lot more than Duran. And they want to push Miami guys because of the population density. There's more money down there. So it does pay them more to have a champion down there. But whenever I knock this guy out and become the king of Miami, it's I can sell tickets anywhere. I'll sell tickets anywhere. And I've sold out the entire front row with all the expensive high dollar tickets is what I sold. Like I wasn't playing. We sold those $600 tickets, and I sold a lot of them. So I sell wherever I go, and I'm grateful for the opportunity.
Now we got Conor McGregor, part owner. Like sky's the limit. It seems like for this organization. Like, can it get as big as UFC?
Yeah, and I think that's going to come with time. I do think that it's going to be hard because the UFC is still growing.
Yeah.
But I mean, we're 6 years deep. We're very new as an organization. So I do believe that. And that's why, to me, being the inaugural 145-pound world champion, that's a big deal to me. Like, I'm in the history books forever. And that's another reason I have no pressure for this. I've achieved my childhood dream of being a world champion. I wanted to do it in freestyle Greco wrestling, but I achieved being a world champion. Now I'm fighting for financial freedom, and I want to run this shit. I hate quoting people, direct quoting, but Conor McGregor said it best. I'm not here to take part. I'm here to take over. And I think that's what BKFC is trying to do. The good news is I do think it will be as big as the UFC. I like bigger is hard to say because they're two different sports, but I think BKFC has the advantage over ONE FC, PFL, Bellator, all these other companies because those are like the UFC. We're not the UFC at all. And none of us the UFC other than me trying to I want to beat the dog shit out of Sean O'Malley for talking shit. But other than that, it's like we know the UFC is the top dog, but we're gonna get there. Like I think we're a clear second right now, especially with the Conor McGregor merger. I think that we're a clear second right now, and like you said, sky's the limit.
Yeah, I think he lacked common knowledge. Like y'all are so young compared to UFC. You shouldn't even really been comparing it like that. And I mean, y'all already have 200 and something fighters, like already under 6 years. I mean, I looked at some of these other organizations, they only got maybe like 100 something fighters. So y'all doing really, really good. Are you cool with like the fights being extended out so long? Like y'all normally don't fight for a while sometimes.
As champion, I love it. It's kind of the courtesy 6 months off. I did,
Okay.
however, for earlier fights, I tried to get on LA and it was being talked about, but then it
Mm-hmm.
just came to fruition. I was supposed to fight May 11th against Jimmy Rivera, and that just never came to fruition. So I was inside that 6 month mark. With bare knuckle, we get so banged, like even with a win, you get banged and beat up a little bit. So having that as a champion, time off is great. As non-champion, it would be a rough way to make a living. And I know our paydays are we're on the cusp of getting those big paydays. So I'm being a company man. I'm that guy. I'm about to be the face of this company, and the money will come. Right now, I'm just collecting my checks and enjoying my life because the 6 months off allows me to help my girlfriend get ready for her fights. It helps
Wait,
me.
your girlfriend fights in BKFC too?
No, she's an
Oh,
MMA. She's a Muay Thai fighter, and she now has two MMA fights. And we're going to try to get her 2 more fights in my 6 months off, and then get her to go pro. I could see her doing bare knuckle eventually if I'm still at the top whenever she's ready to do it, because that would be a really fun card. I think she dominates any of the girls, even as an amateur right now. I think her striking in Muay Thai is so fucking good. I think she competes with everybody at 115 easily. And I think that would be a badass card to have me headlining it and then have her a co-headliner against some of those 115 BKFC girls. I think that would be something that we could really sell, and it would be one hell of a moment for our family.
right now you kind of remind me of Ryan Reber. Like it seems like legacy is the thing right now. It's really about legacy, right?
Legacy and financial freedom, because legacy implies that you have to win, that you have, because I have surrendered outcomes. I'm
Yeah.
okay. I am okay because I put the work in. But right now I want the financial freedom. But bare knuckle's not in that position for that financial freedom yet. They're a new company. I think we're very, very close to getting those massive, massive paydays. But I get to do what I love, and compete for money, and it is my job, and with sponsors and with my fight pay, like I do get to survive. So yeah, it's kind of legacy because that's the position I'm in. I know that I'm not making life-changing money from this next fight, but that doesn't mean 2 or 3 fights down the road I won't make my bag and be able to get my Montana ranch.
That's what's up. So now, what do you expect to happen at this fight, man? This next fight.
I'm just gonna break. Wait, what did you say? What do you
What do you
expect?
expect to happen at this next fight?
I just expect to break him. The wins, the losses, the knockouts, the finishes, doctor stoppages, that those will all come. I'm not worried about winning or losing. I'm worried about breaking him. And as long as I frustrate him, break him, whether it's like I said in the interview, I don't care if I knock him out in 10 seconds because I broke him before the bell even rang, or if it takes me 6 full rounds to break him, I will break him and I will win this fight. Um, but it all starts with breaking him. So that's my game. That's my game plan. I don't have a rhyme or a rhythm of how I'm gonna do it. I do, but y'all don't get to know that yet. But I'm gonna break him, and there's nothing he's gonna do to stop that because he won't break me. He's not the guy. He's not that guy.
Yeah, and it seems like the further you get into the rounds, it gets tougher for some people because somebody was saying boxing it starts out slow and then it gets fast, but with BKFC it starts out really fast and then it gets slow.
Yep. And that's the problem. Everybody has that mindset that they can get people out of there in the first round, and I'm not the guy I'm not gonna quit. I'm not gonna take that knee and look at the ref, wait for the 10 count, and then stand up and congratulate you, which is what all 6 of Bryan Duran's opponents have done. They have all gotten up directly after the 10 count and walked over congratulating him with a smile. He's not a knockout artist. He's fought quitters, and I'm not a quitter.
Well, before we go, man, any shout outs you want to do?
DL Training Systems. He's my strength and conditioning coach. He is looking to add more people to the train. We are full steam ahead. We have the likes of Stevan Micic, Mike Chiesa, Brady Heastan, myself, Melissa Amaya. She's with Combate. She's crushing it. We are a high level strength and conditioning program, and the proof is in the pudding. I look the most shredded I've ever looked, and though being shredded doesn't always calculate it, it just shows the information that I've had from this guy. And I started 2 weeks before the HD fight with this guy. So this is the first time outside of camp that I've done like full-time lifting, and it's been great. Shout out Bucked Up. I'm officially sponsored for the first time by them.
That's what's up.
Perfect opportunity for Bryan Duran to get bucked up, because it just has to happen. Shout out to Native Grown. The best bud in Montana, the best flower. And then we have
definitely need to know about that.
Yeah, and then we have Silverleaf Cannabis Co. They're also another dispensary that sponsors me, and I love their THC water and edibles. So I got both companies to agree.
You said THC water?
Yeah, it's THC water for my weight cut, and I put.
I've never heard of that.
I put it in like 0 calorie. I'll have like some ginger ale or zero sugar squirt to where I can the 0 calorie drinks, and I work that out with my nutritionist, and we're good to go. But yeah, Silverleaf, Native Grown. We have Harvey Singh with Singh Contracting. He's a Montana company, but he has been amazing, and we're actually linking up tomorrow after this before I head off, and we're going to do some content with him. So then, as always, shout out Dude Wipes, Death Grip Wax, KO Reps, Oren Hodak. He's my new manager, and Jordan. They have done wonders for me, and I can't wait to represent for them well. Marcus Cypher and Flopping Groper, thank you guys. And that's about all I got, you know?
Well, I'm going to be rooting for you, man. All I hear on the Bare Knuckle show is they doubting Kai Stewart, man. I just want to see you win, prove the doubters wrong. And I'm going to be following you all over social media. Anything you post, I'm going to be liking it. I'm going to be commenting from here on out.
Are you a fisherman? Man. Are you a fisherman?
Nah, I live in the city.
Well, I was gonna say, if you ever make it to Montana, we'll make sure we link up and we'll get you on some fish.
Definitely,
Even if
man.
you're not a fisherman, we'll make it happen. If you're from the city, then it'll make it that much more special.
Yeah, definitely will. I know we did an interview a while back with Redneck Mandela. He was talking about going hunting with him, so definitely hunting with Redneck and fishing with Kai Stewart does sound like a plan, man.
Hell yeah. Well, I appreciate your time, and
I appreciate you, man.
After June 21st, let's run this back, because I want to double down on all my statements, because whenever I win, I want to make sure that people know that I meant what I said.
Yes, please do, man.
All right, have a great day, man. See you later.
You too. All right, peace. Well, there you heard it from the champ, El Gallo. You're going to have a tough one on your hands. BKFC 62, Hollywood, Florida. Seminole Hard Rock Cafe. Last time it was sold out. They had to open up the top. They had Fat Joe performing. No telling who's going to be performing this time. Can't wait. It's going to be amazing. Kai Stewart, a guy who's been doubted, man. I guess because he's young. Maybe they don't think he's tough. Or he don't look tough, but he's undefeated. He's the inaugural champ. And you heard it from him. He's here to stay and build a name at BKFC. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Paul Pickett Podcast, and I'm out.